What's up, y'all? You know what time it is. Welcome back. It's the Cajun Libertarian Live. I'm your host, Cajun Libertarian. And so we're back with another solo segment. It's just me and you. And usually I write something for this and then I read it and we just have fun with it. But I've been in that app, social media app, Clubhouse lately, and it's very open forum, and I'm really loving that over there. So if you get a chance to pop in over there, please do, because it's excellent. It's going really well. And so I'm actually using that format somewhat tonight because it's not, audio with everybody available. And so, but I wanted to use the open forum part, and that's why I captioned the promo like I did. And Essie says, blurp it up. Oh, that's funny. And so what I said was, if you didn't catch the promo, thank you, Patricia. It's your first time. Thank you very much for joining us. I think you're going to have a lot of fun. Everybody has a lot of fun. It's always a bunch of comments. And so at any rate, I said, what do you want to talk about? And there's some comments we'll go over, and then we'll get into the comments that are going to pop up here. So some of y'all know last week I introduced a new segment into this episode called Kick Rocks. And I went over some of the CDC stuff and a few pontificators, and, that really made me upset and all that. And so tonight, I wanted to actually lead off with that, but let me tell you a story real quick. And so Monday night, I interviewed Nicholas Wildstar, and he is running for governor of California. And most of y'all probably do know that in California right now, there's the recall with Gruesome Newsom, as Nick Wildstar introduced me to. And we started getting into it, and all the things that he's doing on the ground is just incredible. And the movement that he's had, and him working with the Libertarian Party in the past, and now working with everybody that he can, and explaining Cali and all that. And I thought it was going really well. That dude's great. And then in the middle of the interview, my 2-year-old daughter decided that she was going to unplug the Wi-Fi. And then actually just a few seconds ago, it caught my eye again up in the corner. I was getting nervous about it again. So she unplugs the Wi-Fi in the middle of the interview and shut my whole side of the operation down. And so I'm losing my mind, right? Because here I've got a guy coming on, taking time out of running for governor of California to come and talk to me and y'all. And we already had some trouble that day because I got banned from Facebook for 24 hours. And so it had to be a YouTube exclusive. Thank you to my friend that did that. You actually drew a lot of traffic to the YouTube channel and a lot of new subscribers. So thank you for your service. You are the real hero. And I did put out a post about that. However, in the middle of it, with the Wi-Fi shut down, I'm losing my mind trying to figure out how in the world is this. I wasn't even sure on his end if it was working. I didn't know if the whole thing got shut down or not. And so I'm just panicking. I'm shoving my table out the way, getting equipment out the way, with trying to get it thrown on the ground so I can go see what's going on and fix it. And I can hear in my bedroom where my wife watches and listens to the show. Thank you, babe. You are the best. I could not do this without her. That is not a passing compliment. That is a 1,000% fact. If she wasn't here and on my team, this would be impossible. And so I hear Nick on her phone saying, just talking, right? Just going. And then the next thing I hear is, hey, my man, are you still there? And now I'm really flipping out. I'm just absolutely losing it because I'm already in an almost full sprint to my daughter's bedroom because I assumed that that's what happened. And I run in there, and my 2-year-old daughter is standing there with the plug to the Wi-Fi in her hand. And 8 times out of 10 that we've lost Wi-Fi, I've had to call the internet company and be there for 20-25 minutes just to get the Wi-Fi turned back on, because there's always some sort of glitch with mine where I can't just do it myself. And so I plugged the Wi-Fi back in real quick, and I'm at this point, I'm like, I'm guess he's just, they'll end the show and it'll just be there, right? Just an empty blank background like this with nothing. And I get it plugged in and I run back out here, and then all of a sudden I look on as I'm passing through to see if that he's still on the show by himself. I could see that the internet kicked back on, and I jumped back on, and then we finished the interview, and it was great. And that is the first time that happened. I'm praying that that's the last time that happens, because that was a full-blown, just chaotic moment in the middle of a special interview. And so for that, my 2-year-old daughter, Sailor Rain, you can kick rocks for unplugging my dang Wi-Fi in the middle of an interview with a guy running for governor of California. Lord have mercy. And so anyway, she's a daddy's girl. I was gonna say I'm a daddy's girl. That wouldn't make sense in any relationship to what's going on here. No, I'm not a daddy's girl. She's a daddy's girl, and I love her very much. She is awesome. But yeah, for right now, this week, she can kick rocks. And so moving on to just a thought. Usually, like I said, I read something and then we get into it, and Patricia says, "Kid, proof your Wi-Fi." And you know what? I did. Kind of. It's very jerry-rigged. I've got a table pushed up against the box that plugs into the wall until I can get an actual casing for it to screw over it. So y'all can all laugh about that too. Very redneck. I'm not redneck. I'm Cajun, but we are where we are. So I'm trying to kid-proof it. We'll figure it out. It was a funny story though. In the moment, it was terrible. Like I said, I was, oof. Thomas, thank you, my man, for the convenience of multi-screen. I'll be joining you on YouTube tonight. I appreciate that. We need that traffic over there. And so, like I was saying, not to beat a dead horse, usually I write something, and I read something, and then we get into it. And tonight, what I wanted to do is just really just talk with y'all. And so that's why I put the post out, and I'm going to go through a little bit of the subject matter real quick that was in the comment section of the original promo that I put out, because there's some good content in there. And as always, or hopefully, I think a lot of new people joining tonight. I'm a very honest and open person. I'm not scared to talk about pretty much anything. But first and foremost, what you'll learn about me if you're just joining tonight is I will tell you flat out immediately, I don't know. If I don't have the answer, or if I'm not solid about something philosophically or anything of that nature, I'll just tell you I don't know. Refer to the comment section. You ask anybody behind the scenes, they'll tell you. I tell them all the time, dude. 80% of my comment section, and people, if not more than that, are smarter than I am, or they know more about a lot more specific subjects than I do. And so I'm just a facilitator. I'll answer it as best as I can. I'll give you my opinion. The lick says, came out of the grocery store just in time. And that grocery store would be the tundra of Alaska, not an actual grocery store. So you'll be hearing more about that. And you know what? I'll go ahead and give it I keep delaying this little part. I don't know why. I'm not trying to. I'm just, having fun with y'all. There we do have some an announcement coming up here pretty soon. I'd love to give it now, but we're gonna wait and figure out how we wanted to announce it. But Eskimo Libertarian and I are working something together, and so I'll leave it at that. Let's see. Let me read this real quick. California Democrats are screwing with the system. You don't have a chance. Newsom should have been recalled 2 months ago, but Pelosi is trying to get Feinstein to resign so she can appoint her nephew Gavin Newsom to her Senate seat. California's a wreck right now. I mean, look, that's just flat out the case. And so that's good, though. That's good for us, right? Because there's plenty of opportunity for us to spread the message over there in Cali. And we're doing that. We've got a Libertarian Party candidate running for governor. We've got Nick Wildstar running for governor. I mean, we got some real potential over there to change, like we've always talked about, from the bottom up, from the grassroots level. Essie. Okay. And so, yes, I actually am going to keep doing that. That's not going to be just a few more things or just where it was. I'm going to keep doing that. And we'll touch on that a little bit tonight for sure. For sure. And so, before I even get, are you working at a crawfish? No. Before we get any further, let me start getting through the comment sections of the OP because a couple of them are very important. And I really want for y'all to hear what I'm saying on that specifically. And so the first one that I remember, I'll go back to any of them that, hey, Stephen Marsh, stop messaging me, man. I'm in the middle of a live. I love you, bro. He's great. Let's see. Going at it. First one. Israel. Yep, I thought so. The Israel-Palestine debate. Here's what I have to say about that. And I've said this on Twitter, and I'm sticking with it. I'll die on this hill for me specifically until it comes to something different. And that's, probably going to happen. It's kind of happening. But as of right now, what I feel about the Palestine-Israel conflict and what's going on over there and what's transpired over the last couple of weeks or several thousand years or longer, not to be dismissive of it, but I can't do anything about that over there. I can't change anybody's mind over there. There are people that watch this show from around the world, but I highly doubt somebody that is living in that scenario right now is paying attention to what I have to say. And so I'm going to focus my energy and my space on the things that are in my backyard, the things that I can change, that I can actually effect change and progress on. Then, yes, that's what I'm going to focus on. My heart goes out to the people in the Middle East all the time. That never changes because that's a thousands of years old holy war. Okay. There's a lot of biblical aspects to that. Everybody knows I'm a Christian. Everybody knows I love Jesus. I'm not going to preach to you about it. We can go on and on about the semantics of all of that. But the point of the matter is that I have issues in my backyard. And some of my backyard is this audience, is this comment section. And I'm going to focus on that because I know I can affect real change there. That's my stance on it. I know it sucks. It's whatever. I'm not being a politician. I'm telling you straight up how I feel about it. This is how I feel. I'm going to focus on the things that I can actually put my hands on. I can't do anything about that over there. Randy Baker, if you're watching, please explain in the comment section because I don't understand why those fancy printed blankets always have the comfy side out and then a side against you is rough and scratchy. I don't know, man. My man, turn your blanket around. I don't know what to tell you. Safe water in our community, says Tanya. Give Americans water before aid to foreign countries with money we are borrowing, all caps, from China. I don't know how to respond to that. That seems, I need some more detail, right? That's a little bit too vague. There's money that comes from China that goes to a lot of places, and who doesn't have water? If we don't, a lot of people don't have as clean as water, and obviously Flint, Michigan is going through their thing or has been. I'm sure there's many places like that. I'm not trying to dismiss it, but I'm not sure how China money or what China money has to do with our water. Like, we don't need to conflate two things. And I could be totally wrong about that. Let me know if I'm wrong. Tell me. You guys are not shy, and I'm not afraid to take the criticism. You know we do this. I'm not sure what that's talking about there as far as money, borrowing money from China and having safe water in our country. Um, Americans give Americans water before aid to foreign countries. I mean, we could do a lot. That's a multi-month situation there about foreign aid before we're taking care of our own. Shannon, I saw you in the comments already. If you want to just explain to everybody what you're talking about here, uh, again, I absolutely appreciate all of your input, and there's a lot of them here. I'm not going to go through all of them, but the ones that I do feel that I want you to talk about and that I want to learn about, that's not a joke. You guys teach me way more. Again, I'm just a facilitator. You can ask a lot of these people that we've been talking to in Clubhouse. I'll tell you straight up, I'm not a policy law guy. I don't know a lot of this stuff. So we're all a team. We all have specific individual attributes to give to the movement. And Ashley Greer Smoot says school choice. That one I can talk about because I actually brought that up in Clubhouse. That's a big deal to me, and I'll go ahead and tell you why. My almost teenager daughter is she's been pulled out of school since the COVID crisis and never or COVID pandemic and never wanted to go back to her school because of just school stuff, and she didn't like it there, and the atmosphere was toxic, wasn't good for mental health. And so I immediately started, well, I've been talking about this for a while, but we really need school choice because she doesn't want to go back to that school. We don't want to send her back to that school, but because she lives in this specific address, then she has to go to that school. And then the other alternative is her mom and I, who's my ex-wife, this is a daughter from a previous marriage, just had this conversation where she's trying to ship her to Utah because she's, mentally more sound up there and mentally more healthy up there. And so I would rather exhaust our efforts in changing school choice and figuring out a way that we can get each individual parent and student into the right teacher's hands as much as possible. Again, I'm a Christian. I believe that teaching is a gift. I think there's a lot of teachers that were never gifted to be teachers, and teachers union are pretty much a testament to that. But the teachers that are out there that are super special and like that's what they have the heart for, those are the ones that deserve the money, and those are the ones that deserve the students. And I think we need to specialize in that. And if any of y'all want to do like an entire episode on school choice, I would love that. My bromo, Kevin Hobby, is fantastic. He's introducing a bill in the House of Representatives in Oklahoma. Sorry. And we've got a lot of information on that. I learned so much from asking that one question, and we've got to get to that, y'all. We have to let that cream rise at the top. That free market education has to be at the top of our list because there's a lot of things that people don't like about the school system and certain curriculums. We need to be able to give our people choice instead of wielding the government against them and talking about banning. So we've got to make the right moves forward there. Kayla says vaccine passports. I hate them. I don't know what else to say. Hate them. Hate the idea. Scares the hell out of me, even with private businesses. I'm not that pretentious libertarian that just says, oh, they're a private business. They can do what they want. Well, you know what? When the government starts talking about we'll give you certain benefits or we're going to strip your benefits, you can do what you want. Right? And do I need to say much more? It's scary. Vaccine passports, very scary. Essie says bromance. You know what, Essie? You're right. You were the first one that said it during Kevin and I's interview, and it has blossomed. I'm sorry. That's my dude. Yes, we are bromos. Romance. The romance is real between you two. Oh, man. That dude's extremely smart. Matt says, that's my brother in law. What's up, bro? Matt says, I'd like to hear more about school choice. Yes, it's a huge issue for the libertarian community. We need to, Shannon says, all cute. Yeah, we need to have school choice. You should be able to send your kid wherever you want. And so one of the things that Kevin was talking about was the fact that since we're in, and I kind of brought this up, but he was able to, extrapolate or really to highlight the more important um, variables of how this can work bottom up. Obviously that's what we do here, right? Is we're bottom up. And so there's ways that we can do that, right? We can work with the system that we have. There's a lot of people that want to overhaul the entire system. Great. Me too. I'm on board. But we need to be pragmatic about it and realistic. And so we need to work with the tax codes that we have now. We need to work with the tax laws that we have now. We need to work with the property taxes that we have now. Because if we can shift some of that money from the school to the actual individual student, you're already paying for it, right? You already pay taxes. You already pay for public education. So let's put the focus on the student rather than the school. And we can put the focus on the student rather than the school. Then you'll have the teachers with more of an ability to be able to cater to that student's specific needs. And that's why I say teaching is a spiritual gift. If you read the Bible, it's in there. You may not believe the Bible, and that's fine. But teaching is still very valuable. Education is still very valuable. And so we need to put a focus on that. Your kids should be allowed to go where they want to learn from the teachers that you see fit with the most fit environment. You're already paying for it. So why can't you just go to the school, or why can't your child just go to the school that they want? This is an easy win. This is something that's happening all across the country, is that we are winning these small battles at the school board level. I just had Sasha on Friday night, and we talked about how, I mean, look, he worked with two liberals, or I think it was two progressives and an anarcho-communist, and they won school board, and they're working towards better school choice together. I know a lot of people are like, man, I can't work with those kinds of people. We have to try. There might be some common ground in a very specific area that you can find. And right now, the conversation about is the government bad or not, that's done. Everybody's pretty much on board with that. And so we need to find that we need to attack the void that exists between different ideologies amongst common people, right? And so the first way we can do that is by our approach. And I've been talking about that a big time. Big time been talking about that. Our approach in the conversation is everything. Starting off our relationships right and then continuing that relationship. Comments. A lot of comments. A lot of the fact that we're talking about school choice. I mean, I love that. That's a huge topic for me. I sure wish y'all could have been in Clubhouse, man. I didn't know like it's like an invitation thing only, and then you have to be so active and do so many things for so long to even create more invites for you to give invites. It's a little different. I wish y'all could have been in there. If you're on Clubhouse, if you're in there, then you can always just follow me. And anytime that I'm in a room, follow me, follow Spike, follow Libertarian Redhead, follow golly, I'm just gonna blank it right now. I'm on the spot. I shouldn't have even tried that. Follow everybody that you know, and when they get into a room, it'll pop up for you, right? Caitlin Cloven. Everybody's in there right now, and it's just an open forum discussion. Uh, Eskimo Libertarian, thank you, Essie. You know, we're all up in there. Everybody we all commune with, we're there, and we're talking. Shannon was there today. I mean, it's fantastic, and there's just people that are much more skilled at being able to communicate these messages more than myself. I'm more of a philosopher. I can kind of look at a scenario at its whole on a macro level and see how I can adjust that individually to make the atmosphere better and to make it more conducive for winning and things of that nature. But as far as policy and law goes, you know, I have people around me that can fill that void, and a lot of y'all are there. And don't ever think that saying that you don't know something is a weakness. That there's always somebody, even children, that know more about a certain subject than we do. We can learn from anybody. But can we talk about OCS and family court? You could talk about anything you want in the comment section. That's what I'm saying. I don't know how to address that. There's going to be different language for the law in different states. I'm not sure what OCS is, and family court's going to differ from state to state. Shannon, correct me if I'm wrong. I think you're in Alaska, but you're from Louisiana, so that's going to be very interesting. So please talk about that. I got to go back up to a comment. Teen SC Fielding. Let me put it up here. Teen suicides are primarily due to the mental health issues that are created by kids getting bullied. Those numbers are increasing. Okay, that's awesome. I love that. Not that that's awesome. You know what I mean? But the fact that it's tied into the school choice situation. Because again, if you have the option, I can send my kid here, I can send my kid here, wherever I want to send them, I can, because I'm already paying for that education. And then, oh, look, let me tell you this too. Through this conversation, I found out that California was leading the country in like some charter schools. And so that's an option, because when you're basically privatizing education, not necessarily privatizing because you're already spending that money on it, taxation, but opening up to the free market and just, you can go where you want. Charter schools like to come in, and a lot of that helps. Again, it's super important that we have the people around us that can explain a lot of it. Let's see. I also think when a child is identified as a bully, the school should place them in a meeting with the school psychologist, because quite often the bully is being abused or has a mental health illness, and they are struggling as well. Couldn't agree more. Couldn't agree more. I like this right here. Shannon, so Child Protective Services, but I still don't know what OFC is. Let me read this. It's crucial that these conversations about liberty occur with friends, in person if possible. Lead with empathy first. Empathy towards others is an easy launching pad for common ground. Nate, my man, you're speaking my language. Your approach is everything. Now, we do have a situation in my own. Let me say this real quick, Shannon. We do have an issue in our own family with some CPS stuff right now, Child Protective Services, and Office of Children's. Yeah, I've never heard that term before. I'm sorry. Office of Children's Services, OFC. CPS, yes, Child Protective Services. We do have a very significant issue in our own family right now with one of our siblings, and it is absolutely brutal, and it's going to be a long battle in court. I mean, I don't know what you do about that stuff. Again, I'm not the policy law guy, right? All I can do is, when I found out about the situation, is basically try to find some lawyers. A lot a lot of it is lies. What's going on, or all of it probably. I've been over there a bunch. Um, According to what's going on with the legal side of it, is nowhere near, or with the testimony side of it, is nowhere near what's actually been going on. I know this. I've been there a bunch, and so it's rough. I mean, it floors me that people wouldn't do a proper investigation. They're just basing these, or in my situation, it's going to differ for everybody in every state and all that. In my family situation, this incident was, uh, there was no investigation. It was just a situation where some things were, uh, I'm trying to say this right because I can't really say much. Anyway, let me say it like this. Um, It was a bunch of lies, right? And I know this firsthand. So now we got to go to court for it. They'll be in court for it. And there was no investigation. It was just a knock on the door all of a sudden. It's a split home, kids in split home. Dad and dad was saying one thing and that wasn't going on. And there they are showing up with papers. Um, Incredible. No court case, no investigation, nothing. Just papers. And so that's all I really have to say about that, Shannon, because I probably said too much and sounded real dumb trying to say what I'm saying because I'm trying to be very careful about what I'm saying. I just really kind of can't with that right now. And I don't know enough about it. Like I told you, I'll be honest with you. I don't know enough about it. I'm not a policy law guy, but I give this platform, I facilitate this space so that y'all can help each other out and help me out and learning this stuff. Let's see. Essie, I've had to deal with CPS who would be called by the school to report my ex, and when they investigate, they found nothing substantial. Yet, when I fought in court to remove my kids from his care, CPS sided with him and said to leave the kids in with their dad because I lived out of state. And again, that's where I'm saying it's so muddy, right? I mean, there's no real like standard for this stuff. And I haven't found that yet. And I've got a situation in my other family, still my family, but different side of the family where it was like, if you were wanting somebody to be involved and be like, hey, look, something's got to happen here, you know, then you would have wanted that. And so it's just so specific. It should, Shannon says muddied waters. Oh, you know what? Let me go back to the original post here because I feel like I'm just rambling about nonsense because I really don't know what I'm talking about. And so, I mean, I got an idea. I can point us in the right direction. That's about my best on some of this stuff, right? I can point you in the right direction. Let's see. Comments. Bull Johnson, Travis Bull Johnson, running for Congress, Minnesota, says, why can you not look at the Israeli Palestinian conflict objectively without being called an anti Semite in the LP? You know, again, going back to no, not really going back to that. I just think that there's also a lot of information that we don't know. I'll say that. I'm a veteran, and there's things that we don't know about that situation over there. And so that's why I think it's best to keep I guess I am going back to that. I think it's best to keep our focus here, affect the things that we can change. If you have an ability to make a positive change over there, yes, do that. And I hope to God I'm making some change over there. I doubt anybody's watching this or following me over there, but if they are, I would say, we love you. Please, let's just find middle ground with I hate war. I hate war. Um, why is Bull Johnson on YouTube side and not here with me, traitor? Harsh words coming from the campaign manager. Oof. Yeah, put you on blast there. All right. TJ, we can talk about how Tex-Mex is better than Cajun food. Mostly laugh reacts for obvious reasons. Moving on. Brian says, let's talk about cool new apps. Brian's a friend of mine. He's in the Mississippi LP Party. He's a journalist. He's winning awards. He's already won awards. He's going to be receiving them in July. But in June, Brian is also actually authoring an app. And I don't know if I'm even saying that right. He's creating one. Colton Phillips, YouTube's for winners. Thank you, my man. Yes. Brian is creating an app, or really, he's about to launch it. And so it's going to be a good open forum debate app. And I'm actually going to have him on the show. He's an award-winning journalist. And that's incredible. Bull Johnson, huh? All right. So usually I cap these things at an hour, but I feel like that I ran my mouth. And so I am looking to see if I can get anything covered. I try to keep them at 45 minutes because people want to get in and engage, and a lot of people are not going to click on a video that's an hour plus long. But with that being said, I have finished my comments from the earlier posts, and everybody's just having fun in the comment section now. So let me say this. I'll end it here. We're at 37 minutes in the halfway mark. So no later than 40 minutes. So I've got about 2.5 minutes to say something that I think, and I'm shooting this off the cuff, that I think is extraordinarily important and that I haven't covered yet. And we talked about it today in the clubhouse. A big deal for me is police reform. And a big reason for that is because, like I've told y'all before and I've gone over before, I'm a former addict, severe. I spent a long time in rehab. I spent a lot of time in jail. I spent a lot of time with these butthole officers, the ones that are buttholes. I believe that what we need above all is accountability. We need to have a standard set that has to be obeyed, right? If we're going to claim that we're a country of law and order, then there must be law and order for the people that are trying to uphold the law and order. It cannot be one standard for some and another standard for others. And I carry every day, all day. They should be held to the same standard as I am. I cannot just pull my gun out on somebody and shoot them because I feel like they're a threat. There will be consequences. Okay. Yes, I understand that they're put in positions more than I am throughout the day. You still have to have consequences because we can't just shoot people. It is part of the job, whether you want to hear that or not. When you put that uniform on, when you sign up for that, it is part of the job. It is in the label protect and serve first. You can't, we have to be able to hold them accountable. Ending qualified immunity is a big deal for me because then we're forcing each individual officer to get insurance. That way he's forced to make good decisions because he can be held accountable. There should be body cams for every cop, plus some backups for the backups. And if you don't have your body cam on your person and on at any time for any reason, you should face consequences. And then the law in court has to uphold these consequences. We know this stuff is wrong. We know that a lot of it is due to training. That's obvious. And so we really need to dive into looking at police reform because, I probably most of us libertarians are on board for this. The left is on board for this. So we're really talking to the right. And so what I would say to them is if we can take one small step, and I'm going to use a Donald Rainwater quote, we'll be a little bit free tomorrow than we are today. We take one small step towards protecting the officers as well. Why are we pulling people over for victimless Victimless crimes. That officer was just murdered the other day because he pulled a guy over that had tinted windows. Why? That's a ridiculous reason to pull somebody over. We need to end victimless crimes. We need to end this fake war on drugs. And we can protect our citizens and we can protect our officers. And then we can get better training. We can get reform. And our tax money that we're working with right now can be put to better use. Period. Let's save lives. We have to be smart about this. I mean, it's just, and it's not even that complicated to me, really. There's no reason an officer should, if you're justifying an officer getting murdered in the street because he pulled somebody over for tinted windows because you're a Blue Lives Matter person and he was just upholding the law. That's cognitive dissonance at its worst. I mean, there's no reason we should be pulling people over and arresting people for victimless crimes. No victim, no crime. Saves our lives, saves officers' lives. So if you're All Lives Matter crew, this should be an easy one. Isn't requiring sorry. Comments rolling in. Did it again. They're fast. Sorry. Isn't requiring insurance just another form of regulation? They're already working for the government. And so why wouldn't we require them to have insurance? Or no insurance for anybody, you know, just as long as if they shoot somebody, you can take them to court. And if that person was guilty and they had a firearm and they were a real threat, then that cop goes home. If it turns out that that person was not a real threat and that cop could have done 1,000 other things better and saved his and everybody else's life, then he will go to jail. That's as basic as I could put it. I'm a simple guy. I like to look at it in a simple manner. And I set a time limit on it like 4 times, missed it every time, butchered it. Not a big deal. A lot of comments, way overboard on time. Sorry about that. You know, I like to keep these things short. So, as soon as I get off here, I will be putting a promo out for tomorrow's interview, which is going to be an awesome interview. It's another podcaster. She's like a Twitter queen, and has she has a co-host as well. They do a show, and it has a ton of followers. They're way better at this than I am. But big voice in the liberty movement, like huge voice in the liberty movement, living in Los Angeles, California, and so got to hear what she has to say. She's saying kind of the same things that I say about the language that we're speaking. So, with that being said, I will see y'all tomorrow. Same Cajun time, same Cajun channel. I love all y'all. I'm out.